Homework. So I have some questions for you because I get this a lot where the parents are complaining. I've got kids that are complaining. Give us the lowdown on homework. Why,
Yeah,
why,
I think
what
the
even
whole,
is it?
I'm sorry, what?
What even is it?
What even is it? Yeah. It is, you know what? For me in my classroom, it was a chance to practice the skills that we're working on. But I always gave my kids time in class. So I would like tell them, show them, we'd work on it together, then they'd work on it on their own, and then they would produce a product. Sometimes we couldn't get that all done in one classroom. So depending on what the skill was, it's like just finish it at home or before the next class period. That was all the homework I really did. I never I never scheduled homework into my class planner. It was always if we didn't get it done, that's when you would do it. Except for like those big long projects, like the research projects,
Sure.
those you had to do some work on your own. But that's I still didn't call that homework. But there are teachers who, they scheduled, we're going to do this work together, and then you go home and you're going to do 20, 40, 50 problems on your own to practice that skill. I'm like, okay, I understand the benefit for both of those scenarios. But we always got the pushback of, well, my kid has a life. They have things to do. They're busy. They have sports. They have practice. Like, I know, but your number one priority is school. That should be the thing. So I I was always mystified why my homework wasn't being done. It's like you only had one paragraph to write. You couldn't do that in like 10 minutes. Um, but I could see again, yes, these kids today are very busy with their work. But there's so much debate going on right now with grades and should we do homework? Shouldn't we do homework? The AI is doing the kids' homework for them. So, there's just so much that's left up in the air right now about homework. And some teachers just give homework because it's just a way to put grades in the grade book. That's the only way they
Well,
generate any points.
and that's the, like, and also first, I would think not only were you a great teacher, but you're kind of also an anomaly because I don't know that
Yeah.
that's, but I'm talking like first grade, second grade. Why do they have 3 hours of homework in first
There's
and
no,
second grade?
yeah,
What is going on that, like, number one, that there would be that much work for them to be doing, and
right.
like,
Well, and our standards here in Arizona, um, which are probably coming up for review because I worked on them. Our set of standards we have now, I worked on them in 2016, so we're probably coming due for new standards. But even in kindergarten, they had the kids writing full sentences. I'm like, okay, if they really are cognitively prepared for that, great. But I'm not sure they are. But I'm not a kindergarten teacher. But our standards are rigorous, which is what we want. But no, I don't think kids should be going home to do homework. I honestly don't think the little ones need to be in school for 6 hours a day either. But that's a
right,
whole
that's a
nother
whole different,
ball game there.
right.
But yeah, I'm a big advocate of education reform right now, and there are so many things I have going on with working on that to that end. But the whole thing on homework, it should just be practice. And the best way to practice is with the teacher in the room or in proximity while you're practicing, because if you get stuck, you can't call your teacher at home.
Right.
And I know that there are some teachers who answer emails instantly. I am not that girl. I when I go home, I'm at home. So when you go home, you should be home or at
Right.
practice. That was just me. Yes, I got a lot of blowback from administration on that. It's like, but I can't in good conscience force kids to go home for hours to do homework when I won't. The most homework I ever did when we were in school was just that. It was just practice. I don't think
Well,
I ever had even math. I didn't have to go home and do it for hours. But when I when I became a teacher, I would give myself 2, 3 hours to grade essays, and then I was done because after that, everything like became all the same words,
Oh,
and it did
sure,
nothing made sense.
sure.
So, and I like to have fresh eyes on kids' homework. I mean, they only wrote it one time. I have to read 50 essays, you know.
Right,
So, or 100, depending on.
right.
But yeah. So I wanted to give the kids a benefit of that. But I personally do not think we need to be sending kids home to do homework for hours on end. That's if if a child needs help, I always loved when my kids would come home and tell me that they were doing this or that. And then I would ask them a couple of questions about it just to solidify, because you learn and you cognate what you have, the lesson or the skill by teaching somebody else. And so I would love doing that with my own kids. And so but then again, I'm kind of up that Pollyanna. I think that kids are going home and talking to their parents about what they're doing in school, and then the parents can ask questions and kind of probe their brains about what's going on, and well, how does that work? Tell me more about that.
Right.
That in a perfect world, but again, parents are busy, they don't have time. But it's like that is the best way to help your student at school is when they come home, talk to them about, well, what do you think about the rhetoric lesson that you did today? Well, how do you figure out how to conjugate a verb? Why does your teacher say that's important?
Mm-hmm.
If and it doesn't take that long. Maybe 15 minutes, a couple minutes for every subject, something new that's going on.
I agree. Talk to your kids.
Yeah. But again, and your kids